Yes, they're like daisies, and there are some Easter eggs hidden between them.
Beautiful. Tell me more about those Easter eggs.
They're beautifully colored, pastel colored. It's the feeling of springtime or hope, renewal, joy, something new coming.
Yes. Allow yourself to focus on that feeling and tell me more about that feeling of joy and renewal.
It feels like something, it feels like a portal and a separation,
Yes.
a rebirth, a rebirthing that implies separation and going through a portal, a new life.
Tell me more about that portal and that separation.
I see the central sun of our galaxy. They call it Alcyon. It's getting closer and brighter and more influential.
Yes. Tell me more about that.
It's calling us. It's like the shape of the energy is like a shape of a bowl, like a satellite antenna, and it's pulsating, moving, like calling. It sends out energy
Yes.
to us, but it also calls us forward or inwards. And it's a spiraling calling inwards. I'm going there now.
Good. Allow yourself to drift and float there. And as you do, tell me what you see.
It's so bright.
Yes. Tell me more
I,
about it.
I need to adjust.
Allow the
I need,
energy to flow through and allow yourself to integrate the energies.
okay.
Allow the energy to flow through the body and integrate. Tell me more.
The symbol of justice. What is just or equal? Equality. It's the energy, the frequency of equality, that which is just.
Tell me
Is
more
now
about that.
there's a band, a headband that is being placed on my forehead with this energy so that it allows me to go further in. It kind of lowers my human judgment so that I am allowed in.
Tell me more about that. and what you see in this place.
I see many souls being like little spheres being moved towards something that would be like a big air balloon, but it's a white light, and we are sucked in gently, much like if we're in a river of energy. We're being sucked inside or pulled inside. And as we go in from the bottom, like a big hot air balloon, we rise. This is the portal.
Yes. Tell me more about that portal.
As we go into this hot air balloon shaped white light, it's like a light bulb standing up, open on the bottom. There are layers or levels that you access one above the other like a building, and you go in from the middle. There's a hole, and it's like going onto a floor of a building that's not finished, and so it's just a floor. It's empty, and there are many layers. I'm going to a next level now. I'm there. I went through the hole,
Yes.
and the symbol of remember. They are asking me to remember, or I'm there to remember.
So go ahead and allow yourself to remember. Allow that to happen.
I'm coming out now of the other side of the portal.
Tell me what you see or experience as that happens.
As I come out, I am flying on a large white bird.
Yes. Tell me more about that bird. Allow yourself to connect with it.
It's actually the energy of opportunities to unlock doors. I could go anywhere I want and open any door.
Yes. So
I
allow
can
yourself to
I
go.
can experience or choose to experience any direction, any door. It's like timelines, possible timelines. There's one to my right that's catching my attention. I'm going there now.
Good.
Oh, it's actually I'm traveling to receive gifts or tools. This one that I am approaching is to increase my willpower and my speech, my power of speech. It's like a ring, a wide ring to put on my throat chakra where my willpower is. And so I take it and place it on my neck. And then I'm distracted to go elsewhere and fetch something else, another tool. This time I go down in a straight line. And it's to sit on an energy bench, which is in the shape of a soft U. It's light, a light seat, which is representing take my place, to be amongst or in front of others, like on stage, or feel comfortable being in front of others. Take my
Yes.
place. And with it comes a little belt to be placed on my waist to feel secure in doing that.
Beautiful.
And it will calm anxiety or stage fright.
Yes.
I am now moving forward, not too far away, upwards and to the right. And a captain's hat is waiting for me to be placed on my head, which is self or personal authority, to feel that I know where to go, much like a captain on his ship. They're saying, I need to go to Europe.
I see. Tell me more about that.
There's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done of energies, much like a vacuum cleaner. And lifting people up towards the light.
Yes. And how is it that they want you to do this?
I must connect them with this portal because it just pulls them in like I was pulled in. It's an energy current, much like when moths are attracted to light at night. So too will our souls be attracted to this light portal.
Tell me more about the light portal.
It's a spinning sphere, much like a gyroscope, and it feels like orientation, direction. It will move us into a new direction or orientation. We are free, of course. We can go in any direction, 360 degrees. But there is a preference or suggested tendency of only 15 degrees, the right path for each and every one of us. That portal is getting wider, it's getting closer, and getting more. The word is coming through is like sticky, but it's not. It's just attractive. It has a pull. Sticky in that sense that we could stick to it and we can stay or stick to it. I see a boat, a wooden boat, a long wooden boat, and there are many people coming on that boat, moving towards this portal. But we must be cloaked, like putting a invisible cloak on top of us, of our heads, as we are in this boat, so that we can safely travel and be protected as we are going through this portal. We must cloak ourselves so that we may be allowed to move through it and not be seen by the dark.
Tell me more about how we cloak ourselves to move through this portal.
Putting this band on our forehead. I can put this band on people's foreheads. It's a transmitter of light. And that's a mechanism that allows you to float up into the light, into the portal, to be redirected or assisted. It's kind of like a gateway or passageway. And once we are on the other side, I see a bridge. Oh, and the symbol of liberty, like the crown on the Statue of Liberty. We are being liberated. We are being freed. We are being rescued. Yes, this is a rescue operation. That's why we must sneak out in silence or being cloaked. It's like if we were in jail or prison on this planet and we are being rescued and must sneak out through this portal. And there's a bridge that is waiting for us. We will be received silently. We must keep silent, meaning cloaked. Since this is a rescue mission, we must try not to be seen.
Tell me more about this rescue mission and why it is necessary.
We are breaking free. It's too limiting where we come from, where we've been. It limits us. We can no longer grow there. We can no longer expand there. If we stay there too much longer, our energies will be drained, kind of being
Yes,
sucked out of us, and we will be squashed with so much density,
yes.
much like if we were on a very large planet and the gravity would be so strong that we would be squashed to the ground.
So tell me more about how we break free from this place that is so oppressive.
From above and from below here, there will be a collaboration to make a whole in this layer of darkness that surrounds the planet. And like the links on a chain, we link together. Someone starts it. It's teamwork. I see a definitely energy of a spaceship beginning that activation. And from here also on Earth, we connect and we become magnetic and we just link one to the other and to the other, much like the links of a chain. And we are pulled up. We are pulled up in series, just like a chain, an endless chain. So many being pulled together, one by one, but connected to each other, until the last one that is in this frequency is hauled upwards, and then the portal will close, and all the dark will implode. I see the earth falling like if it was ballooned with water now, with density, and it falls into, as if there was gravity in space. It's being pulled into a black hole, or just falling lower and lower until it disappears.
Yes.
There are decisions that need to be made.
Tell me more about those.
Once we are on the other side of the portal, there are choices, like roads, different light roads. We can stay where we are, meaning a higher version of our home planet, this planet, which is now a light planet. We can stay there and rebuild with justice and fairness and the essence of the portal of the central sun, which is equality. We can rebuild the new earth with the essence of equality and unity, consciousness. Or we are free to take other gateways, pathways, and explore the galaxy, the universe, or return to where we originally come from, go home. We are free. We are so free that we can go anywhere.
Tell me more about how the people who make it through this portal magnetize to each other and are lifted out through this portal.
When the time comes, there will be a kind of crack in the earth, but not a physical crack. It's like when it's like something opens, and I see it opening on the Atlantic European coast from, I would say, a little bit lower than the North Pole and coming down the coast of Europe and Africa. And it opens, and an energy, a beautiful, strong, white, very significant energy is emanated, much like if it would be a strong hot air current, and so birds just rise by themselves without needing to flap their wings. Have you ever seen birds do that? They just take advantage of hot air currents spiraling upwards, and they just rise without efforting. In much the same way, a strong electromagnetical energy is going to be emitted by the planet, starting on this line, and as it is directed upwards, it's going to pull upwards those that are of a similar vibration, or that are choosing light. It begins here on the Atlantic coast of Europe and Africa. And then it begins to expand both east and west simultaneously, moving around the planet and then meeting and closing, touching on the other side. And in this way, we will be magnetically lifted to come together on this portal from wherever we are on the earth. It's synchronized and coordinated to happen in 24 hours, or the time it takes to rotate completely.
And what will we experience on the earth when this happens?
The body will the body and the mind will kind of be, for the lack of a better word, numbed for a while as we are pulled or lifted. It's not a voluntary thing, it's something that is done for us.
Tell me more about that. How is it done for us?
It would be felt like, it's like when you take a little cat in your hands and you just lift it. It's a lifting, but again, it's like you don't know, or you're not aware. You're kind of numbed. I guess the best or the closest description or sensation is when humans are abducted and lifted. It's much like that. I would say it is like that. Yes, it is like that, exactly like that. It's a energy transmission.
And when this happens, this lifting or this numbing, who or what is it that is doing the lifting or numbing?
As the two energies are polarized, the light and the dark, a sort of void is formed, and the void has a pulling force. It's much like windsurfing or an airplane. How does it fly or is lifted? There's a void. That's when the wind blows against the veil, the windsurf, a little void is placed and it pulls forward. The central sun is causing this pull or split or polarization, and in the polarization, a vacuum is produced. When light and dark are separated, right in the middle, there's a vacuum effect. And with the assistance of those on the spaceships who direct the direction of the pulling of the vacuum, which sucks us up to this portal. It's the central sun and the Galactic Federation of Light combined at the precise moment to assure that it's done with the intention of assisting and directing and securing the rescue operation.
And how will the light and the dark be separated on the planet? How will that occur that creates that vacuum? Tell me more about that.
Again, it has to do with the ocean. Again, the Atlantic Ocean or water. I see water moving. Force fields. Something coming from within the planet. A catalyst of sorts, ignition of sorts. Our planet is an energy ball. It says our planet wants to shake off the fleas, much like the dog. A dog wants to shake off the fleas. Our planet wants to be ridden, shake off the darkness or that which damages it, which does no longer service it. It wants to shake it off. And so it will probably shake or move energetically or catalyze a big shift for this magnificent energy event to occur. Yes, it will activate a force that has never been here before. It says it's much like a rainbow that's separated in strata, different frequencies, different colors, but it's a ignition or activation of 7 different frequency bands, which would be like sieves with different diameters that separate, differentiate according to frequency the beings. And so imagine 7 layers going upwards, just to try to make it easy to understand. And they have different diameters, like different sieves with different size holes. And the ones that are meant to go through the portal can go through all these layers. Oh, this is what I was seeing originally when we went into the central sun. Remember going into that big light balloon? And there
Yes.
was a hole, and I had to go through that hole to get to a different layer, and then I go to a different layer and then a different layer. Okay, so it's like a series of sieves. So the ones that vibrate very low, they can only go through the first layer of sieves, or perhaps even the second and third, but not the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. And so they're trapped here. They can't make it out. Whereas all those that vibrate in higher frequencies can make it through all these layers, selective layers. This is how it is done. This is how it is separated. This, of course, is just a physical analogy so that we can understand, but it's actually a sieve of frequencies.
Tell me more about how the ones who can access all of those layers, tell me more about how they are able to do that. What is different about them?
One, they are willing, they are searching, they are wanting. Two, they are chosen. Three, they are guides or the ones that are guiding others on this journey. And four, the ones that have soul contracts to do so, but are not yet aware, for example, babies or young children, or those that have not come to have access of the ascension process, but it is in their soul contract.
And how will these people experience being able to move into these higher dimensions? How will that be experienced by those people?
It's a combination of a numbing effect, like you don't really know what's going on for a while. Much like I said, like an abduction, it's something that your conscious mind is not really noticing. And even if we did, we wouldn't be able to understand it and it would probably scare us. So that's why they numb us, numb the mind and numb the body. It's like as if in the state of sleep. It's probably like we're going to awaken. Like when you go to sleep and you're traveling and then you awaken in a new city, like if you're in a train or an airplane. It's something like that. Uh, we're not really going to be aware when it actually does happen, much like an abductee does not really remember the process of movement or the consciousness being moved or even the body being moved. It's like teletransportation.
So if we're not aware of when this move occurs and when we're able to access these higher realms, how will we know when it has occurred?
Some will get stuck in this process. For example, those that are not meant to pass through, and they will feel it like something happening in their chest and then like a falling sensation, as though they were trying to go through this hole on the sieve and they could only get across through the chest, which is the thickest part. And so they will feel something heavy in their chest, much like prior to perhaps an anxiety attack or a heart attack. You know, there's something strange in the chest. And then they just fall into deeper density. That's how they will experience it. And the others that do make it through, at first they will feel a little bit disoriented, much like when we wake up too quickly from a dream. We need a few minutes to settle into where we actually are. But it will feel it will be like when you are actually rescued. You feel joy, you feel cleansed or cleared. Joy with confusion, but a good kind of confusion, like when you go to a party and you don't know anybody. That kind of, oh, I got to get reacquainted or oriented, where I see like it's like if when we come out on the other side, everybody is just white. We're all just dressed in white. That's unity consciousness or equality. We are the same, or vibrating in the same frequency. And it's going to take a little time to get used to the new settings or the new ways or we would feel like pioneers. Yes, like pioneers.
Tell me more about the new ways or the new settings that you speak of.
I see the band that they still wear on the forehead. Each one is wearing like a band, but it's a higher awareness. It's not a physical thing. And it has changed shape. It has gotten wider in the center of our forehead and is thinner on the sides. And it represents greater self-awareness or awareness in general, but like each one stepping into their power, but within unity consciousness of service to others and being in white light. It's a feeling of togetherness. It's a feeling of we're together in this collaboration and a new beginning, much like pioneers, but without the struggle. Pioneers in a new world where we feel safe, we feel joy, and it's just we begin to create like pioneers in a new land, but it's safe and it's good and it's bountiful. We are like pioneers in a new land.
Tell me more about the new land. What will it be like?
we will have to ground to this new land, and there will be guides or teachers who will teach us the ways. We need to learn and continue to learn how to be together in a new way, and how to be with the earth in a new way. There will be much schooling or guidance so that we will quickly move into the knowing and away from the disorientation phase as we have moved through the portal. I see us temporarily on ships where this teaching or guidance will occur.
And what signs do we need to look for on our planet in order to show us that this period of time is upon us, that the period of time where this split occurs and we go through the portal is upon us?
A light from the sky and a movement in the earth. I feel the light is so bright, it's a blinding light, but it's the catalyst. It sets something into action or reaction, and the earth moves, meaning responds to the light.
And tell me more about what it is, that light. What causes that light, that bright light?
When those beings in the ships are or feel or know that it is time, because on this planet there are so many things that are going on, so many variables that are shifting possible events from day to day. There's so many different outcomes every day that when the analysis or the interpretation of so millions of variables, when they feel that there's an optimization, when the Galactic Federation of Light and others observing and surveying feel that it's the precise moment, they give a signal to the central sun. Because the veil is still not completely lifted, and so they must keep observing. And when they witness that through our actions or decisions on planet Earth, there's a time window for best possible outcome, meaning there's an optimization of the number of people or humans or sentient beings to go through this portal, they instantaneously send out that signal to the central sun, which sends out this powerful light pulse that sets everything into motion. So the Galactic Federation of Light knows that the time is near and is surveying, minute to minute with very sophisticated computers that take into consideration so many variables, that when they get the feedback that there's an optimum condition, it will be triggered. But they must respect our free will of so many billions of beings reacting to what is going on. And when the time is right, because of the human interactions between themselves, they will know and they will signal the central sun to send out this great pulse of energy that catalyzes the splitting or the lifting of light beings and leaving the dark behind.
And when we consider these optimal conditions that are needed on Earth,
November.
tell me more.
November.
Tell me more about that.
Along with, oh yes, now I see. Along with this great central signal coming in from the central sun, thousands of ships will take advantage of this light penetrating our Earth from the North Pole, that it would be like they're coming in like a surfer on a wave. Thousands, if not millions of beings, interdimensional beings on mission to rescue, are going to take advantage of this energy wave and come in through the light, because it makes a big hole in the dark cloaking of the earth. And just like Santa Claus can deliver to all the children in the world in one night, so too will this be done in a brief period of time. They will reach all the humans that are ready, that are wanting, that are choosing, conscious or subconsciously, through soul contract. And they will rescue. They will come in. They will invade this planet. Invade because they will override free will and selectively lift. Yes, now I understand. This high frequency light will come in. And as it comes in, these millions and millions and millions of light beings catch this wave, come in with this wave. It catalyzes the earth from within. And then after a short period, this light bounces back. And once again, these beings rescuing humans will catch the wave back out as it rises and lifts. This is the way it will be done. It's time sensitive. And then it will close. That's why there are millions waiting near the earth, because it is time sensitive.
tell me more about what these ships will do at the moment in time when the split occurs.
They have technologies that allow the beings in these ships to come down and so synchronistically they will all come down at the same time, almost like in the blink of an eye. And with technology that we are not aware of, they will not only be rising or lifting the humans that are ready, searching, or willing, but also they are the ones that will introduce reactive, explosive mechanisms. Visually, they could be seen like as if they would put huge bombs in craters or specific places on the earth in order to explode, but it's like an implosion really, those dark forces that are inside the earth. At this same time, when beings are being lifted, so will the earth open energetically, and all higher beings of inner earth will also ascend, will also leave the old earth behind. And these beings from inner earth are also part of the plan, the rescue plan, to assist in lifting the humans when the time comes. And so from outside and from the inside, we will be rescued. But again, it is time sensitive.
And when you say lifting, and we've already discussed earlier on that those of us who are ready for this ascension are able to go through these energy portals and into this new version of Earth just via our frequency. When you say lifting, tell me more about what you mean in terms of what the ships will be doing.
The ships are with the beings are mere collaborators. They are not the ones intending this for us or doing it for us. This is destined to happen. It would happen anyway, even if the Galactic Federation of Light were not here. The reason why they are here is that once we do go through the portal, we are not dispersed. And just because we are disoriented for a while, we will just not go off in any direction. Many of us, 3/4 of those that pass through the portal are meant to stay on the new earth.
Yes. So the
And
ship.
so the ships and these beings are meant to instruct us, guide us, assist us into where it's like a holding place, a orientation place, informing us, holding us while we get reoriented, because it is going to be very disorienting.
So to clarify, the ships are not physically lifting us anywhere. They are just going to be there when the frequency shift has occurred to help us to orient in the new frequency.
because we have not experienced this before or heard of this before, it is hard to understand, but let me try to explain. It's not that we are going anywhere, it's that the old earth is being separated. And so imagine a ball of socks. When we fold our socks, many of us put it into a ball, don't we? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Imagine one sock is going to be 3D world and the other sock is 5D. And when we put them into a ball, as they are now, they are combined. What's going to happen is like the 3D sock is going to unwind and separate from the 5D sock. The 5D sock is not going anywhere. It is here right now. And as this energy shift occurs, what happens is that the 3D sock is going to be removed. That's why I see it falling after the polarization and the shift. It just falls and leaves the 5D sock sphere in place. It's going to be like we're going to be cleansed. We're going to be released from the dense 3D sock. It's going to fall lower into denser dimensions. And that's the split. It's actually, we have right now 3D, 4D, 5D, and even higher dimensions with us right now. It's just that there's going to be a separation so that we are free from the 3D. And it appears like we lift, but we don't actually lift because the 3D falls lower. In relationship, it looks like we are lifting, but we actually stay here, but the planet is cleansed and freed of darkness and density. And that moment of the transition could be very disorienting. That's why we are kind of numbed for a while, and why the Galactic Federation is here to hold the space, to hold our consciousness, to reorient and begin to inform and assure and guide.
And as we cast off that 3D sock, tell me a little bit about how that occurs. What's the catalyst for that to occur? And what happens to the beings that are still on that 3D sock?
The catalyst is this intensive light pulse of love, of pure love that comes from the central sun. And when it hits the earth's core or essence begins to react and the splitting begins or separation begins. The best way now to explain it would be, imagine a glass of water with oil, but in the form of emulsion, meaning you cannot differentiate the water and the oil because it is emulsified, mixed in tiny, tiny particles. So it looks like one, like we are now, light and dark blended. When this light will come in, it will cause a reaction, and the water and the oil will separate, much like when you originally combine water and oil in a glass. They just naturally separate into different phases, the oil rising quickly to the top. And however much you try to stir it, they just separate. So that's what's going to happen. there's going to be a reaction, a frequency reaction that separates into different phases. The light and the dark are different phases, and they will no longer be mixed. And as it separates into these different frequencies or phases, light on the top and dark on the bottom, because dark is denser, then the density just, because of its own pull of density, just separates so much that it appears to just leave into a different universe. Yes, it will go into a different universe. That's why now I understand why the ascension on this earth is so, so important, because it's going to, our shift on this earth is going to affect our universe. It's going to pull the dark out of all the planets or different civilizations of our universe into another universe, the multi-universe reality. Our universe is going to be ascended as a whole. Oh my God. Now I understand more why all eyes are on us, and that it's
Yes.
so important that this goes through well. Now I understand our importance.
Yes.
It's so much more than just about us. Oh my God, I got chills all in my body. Truth bumps, goosebumps.
So at this point in time, you mentioned November. Tell me more about that. What do we need to know about how we can get ourselves ready?
Intend with visualization to have like a dome of light over your body. It's light, a light dome, very much like the shape of, and it's actually going to act very much like the tip of a bullet, which is kind of a pointed cylinder, but a soft pointed cylinder. We're going to become light bullets. We can intend to become a light bullet that is thrusted or boosted upwards just because we activate our crown chakra. We can activate our crown chakra, open it more, activate it more, ask for light to come in. It will lighten, enhance, and grow outwards. It will be brighter. And that's how we give the sign, like flares in the night, that we are the one, we are wanting, we are ready, we are chosen ones. We are the chosen ones. Yes, we are.
Is there anything else that we need to know about this shift?
It's going to be excruciating for many that will stay here. And we must not engage to be affected by the drama, the chaos, or the suffering that may prevail before this actually happens. We must stay in our light, understanding that it will be over soon. and that the density, the darkness, will be drained or released from our experience. When that happens, when we do come through the portal, we will have the ability to forget the trauma of those around us, or the world around us, or the fear of the moments leading up to this. That will be wiped from our memories. The important thing is to stay hopeful as we are aware or informed that this is going to be happening. We have a greater discernment because we know the why it is happening and how it will be happening. We can choose not to engage because we are informed that this will not happen to us. But this is something that must happen to the planet. To stay calm and to keep others calm and to hold each other in light, in love, visualizing and in gratitude of the assistance and the rising of our frequencies. For we are the chosen ones. We are safe. And we will make it.
Thank you. Thank you for all of the information and wisdom that you have given us here on planet Earth today. On behalf of everybody who will listen to this and who will benefit from this information, I would like to thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts. And now I would like to ask for you to recede back to the time, space, reality, dimension where you belong with much love and much thanks. We will leave that entity, that consciousness there to continue on their journey. They will find peace. They will find what they are looking for. But we are going to ask them to recede. And I would now like to ask all of the consciousness and personality of Julie to once again return and fully integrate back into the body. May I speak to Julie's subconscious, please, her higher self?
Yes.
You could have given her much information today of many different lifetimes, but we went into a great deal of very important information about the imminent shift in consciousness on planet Earth. Tell me more about why you showed her that today.
She needed to see what would happen so that she will no longer be in fear. She was once again becoming too anxious about decisions that had to be made on the physical plane. And now she understands that what's going to happen is going to happen no matter what decisions are made on her behalf. So there's really nothing that needs to be done. She can just be in a state of flow, awareness, and acceptance, even though many things are going to change. It's all for the better.
And we were given the month of November in the middle of that message. As her higher self and her subconscious, is there anything that we need to know surrounding that? Is the month of November when this actual separation of the two dimensions will occur?
The concept of time is different from your concept of time. In November, many different convergent and divergent timelines will collapse. Many choices for different humans. Visualize it as a funnel, like a tornado, that spins so quickly and so powerfully that it sucks from the bottom upwards, spinning and then outcasting or spinning people away in different directions, which are timelines. Yes, November. Your concept of November is when many things will converge. However, for some, and this is the divergent timelines, for some, it will happen instantaneously. For others, they will be put on different timelines that it will happen in the weeks to come or the months to come. Very difficult for you to grasp or to understand. But something is coming or will initiate in November, the beginning of November, probably the number 10. The portal of 1111 is very significant, very, very significant.
Yes. How will she herself experience the shift?
She is at the present worried or afraid for her daughters, for her family. And she must visualize embracing them, like putting a cape or cloak around them energetically, and they will move with her. vibrationally, no matter where they are.
And you mentioned earlier on that this whole thing was time sensitive and that within a period of 24 hours, this energetic current would move around the world and the split would occur. But one of her questions was, is the shift a quick event, or is it an ongoing, progressive process that lasts months or years? She wanted more information around that.
It's like putting a thread through the eye of a needle. There's precision that is required. That is why humans are being assisted. If humans were left on their own, they would all be dispersed into different directions and timelines. It is necessary to more strongly connect to the Galactic Federation of Light through intention, through desire, to be assisted by them so that it happens more easily, swiftly, and effectively, so that it takes less time. That is optimum. But of course, there are so many variables. There are so many factors. They will do their best. But we are not all going to experience it in the same way or at the same time necessarily. When it happens on Earth, it happens very swiftly. But how we perceive it as we are taken on different timelines, each human may experience it differently. The role of the Galactic Federation of Light is to catch as many consciousness as possible as they are moving upwards. Like balloons, they need to catch as many strings to guide them to stay on the new Earth, for they could easily, in this disorientation transition, be lost as well. It is so hard to explain, but we must trust that we will be directed and caught, so to speak.
What will her life be like after the shift has occurred?
For a time, in this reorientation, she will look for her family or try to understand where others have gone. There is an adjustment period where we need to regroup as humanity. However, she will be protected in this new setting, much like beings being rescued and then being pioneers on a new continent, shipwrecked, then rescued, and then becoming pioneers as they are taken to this new continent. She will be amongst them, and she will be guiding them.
She wants to know what we are to expect on Earth over the next couple of months due to the shift, and if there's going to be any global chaos due to any natural disasters.
Masculine energy arising from within the planet. Masculine energy being aggression, violence, or destruction that will move the earth in more ways than one, socially, energetically, physically, and karmically. The karma is stored around the earth, and that needs to be moved. It's actually what is keeping us prisoners. Humanity is being imprisoned by karma. The karma of suffering, of trauma, of hardship. The density of those experiences is what's keeping humanity prisoner in 3D. That is going to be shattered.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that she needs to know, or that humanity need to know about this shift and what we need to do to get ready?
Those that are in line or destined to be lifted to the new earth need not fear, for they are protected. However, it is your duty not to engage in what you see around you that may take you off track and lower your frequency as you step into fear or chaos. You must hold your frequency. You must take responsibility so that you are in alignment for the following steps to occur for you. Do not get lost by getting distracted.
Thank you.
You are the light. stay in the light, and the darkness shall leave.